PC, we have a couple more people joining us this evening. We're going to get started momentarily. We're just waiting for some of our grantees to join us. But thank you for joining us this evening. If you're watching us live on Facebook, we're going to get started momentarily. Stay tuned to the stream, and we will be getting started within the next few minutes. Thank you for your patience. All right, peace and blessings, family. Welcome to the Baltimore Children and Youth Fund program showcase, community program showcase. My name is Adam Jackson. I am a part of the community engagement team here at the Baltimore Children and Youth Fund. And tonight, well, first off, welcome. Thank you for coming through tonight to hear about all the great programs that are available to youth and young adults here in Baltimore City. Tonight's going to be a really packed program. We're going to have 3 different grantees from the Baltimore Children and Youth Fund present about their programs and all the work that they are currently doing and have done here in Baltimore. But before we get into that, I just want to make sure that we know the folks who are on the team here at the Youth Fund. Again, my name is Adam Jackson. I'm a part of the community engagement team here at Baltimore, the BCYF. A lot of you may know me in my role at Leaders of a Beautiful Struggle, but in this capacity, I'm working explicitly with the Baltimore Children and Youth Fund for community engagement. I'll give Mr. Davon Love and Ms. Donna Brown an opportunity to introduce themselves too. So Davon and Ms. Donna, can you mind introducing yourself to folks?
You want to go ahead first, Donna?
Sorry about that. Good evening, everyone. My name is Donna Brown. I'm a TA consultant for the Baltimore Youth Fund. I'm excited about this evening and what our grantees have to present to you.
And I am Davon Love, as Anna mentioned, also working with the Baltimore City Children Youth Fund on community engagement. I'm looking forward to tonight.
All right. So, so just so people know, just a little bit of housekeeping, just so folks who are watching here on Zoom and also on Facebook Live. If so, we're going to be doing a series of presentations this evening. Each grantee will have about 10 to 15 minutes to essentially tell you what they're doing with youth and young adults in Baltimore, but it isn't just a conversation at you. The purpose is to get young people enrolled in these programs. A lot of times, we know because of these times we live in, people aren't really aware of the programs that are currently available for youth and young adults in Baltimore. And we just wanted to make sure that we gave the grantees an opportunity to present to you the work that they're doing, talk about how to get young people enrolled, and to make sure that young people have access to high quality programming. Right. And the thing is, like I said, this is supposed to be interactive. So if you have any questions, if you're watching here on Zoom, feel free to use the chat function or the Q&A function to ask any questions you may have about any of the grantees, anything about the enrollment ages, like any questions you have about the program. Feel free to ask any questions that come to mind. If you're watching on live on Facebook, we're monitoring that stream too. So if you have a comment or any feedback on there, we'll make sure that your questions get to the grantees as well. So we're gonna jump right into it. Like I said, each grantee is going to have about 10 to 15 minutes, but after each presentation, you will have more than enough time to ask them questions about their programs and how to get any young people involved. You do not have to have a young person, a child in your own life. If you know your nephew, your niece, your cousin, or anybody else in your life that may be able to take advantage of this programming, feel free to share this information as widely as possible. If you're watching this on Facebook, please share to make sure that people can get access to the information, and just let people know that this is available to youth and young adults here in Baltimore. All right. Okay. And again, if you have any questions, use the chat box or use our comment on Facebook, and we will make sure that your questions and feedback is taken into consideration. So let's jump right into it. I think up first we have Wide Angle Youth Media, and I think we have Miss, I don't want to mispronounce your name, Maria?
Mora, can you hear me?
Mora, got you. Yep, I can hear you.
Can I start my video? It says that the host has stopped my video. Can you start my video?
Yeah, I think Miss Donna, can you get her situated real quick? Yeah, we've been boxing with Zoom all pandemic. So
Yes,
how that goes.
we understand. Yes.
All right.
Let me try again and see. No.
Let's see. Hold on 1 second. Let's see.
I don't
know
something on my end.
No, it's probably just a setting we need to adjust. One of them check boxes. Miss Donna, do you have a video enabled for
Mora?
I'm sorry. Mora. Yeah. Got it. All right. While we're getting that situated, just want to make sure we remind people that this is the intention of tonight's program is to get young people enrolled. So in case you miss any information that comes up this evening, please send an email to info@bcyfund.org, just in case you miss anything pertinent tonight. So Mora, I'll hand it over to you. I think you're on mute now. It's always something.
Get there. Yeah. Okay. Here I am. You can hear and see me. Awesome. My name is Mora Fred Antuono. I'm the development director at Wide Angle Youth Media. I'm so excited to be here, and I just wanted to extend a thank you to Adam, Davon, Donna, and the BCYF team for all the support that you've given to all of the grantees from the start all the way through COVID to present. So I'm going to attempt to share my screen, but Miss Donna, I think you've got my back and you've got my slides in case there's any issue with that. So let's see if this works. Okay, great. So can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Let's see, present. Okay, just want to go back to my first slide. Okay, great. So Wide Angle Youth Media, we are a media arts education nonprofit in Baltimore City, and our goal is really to provide young people with the opportunities to amplify and share their voice around issues of importance to them that impact their community. And we do that through media engagement. So video, graphic design, photography, virtual event planning is a new offering. So we try and be adaptive and offer things that are relevant to our young people, with the goal that we're inspiring creativity, we're instilling confidence, and we're also giving them a space to hone the skills that can help support them in their navigating school, career, and life. So a little bit more about Wide Angle. We were founded in 2000, so we turned 20 in like a week and a half, which is super exciting. We've worked with over 5,800 young people to date, and we always serve youth ages 10 to 24. Normally we work with 300 youth. This year, because of COVID, we decreased that number to 300 because our goal right now is to make sure that first we're supporting the young people who were enrolled with us at the start. So we still have openings, we still have new offerings, but we wanted to really make sure that we were able to provide that longer term support through this incredibly challenging time for our young people. Because we really want to be making sure that they're socially, creatively, and also financially supported. We have stipends for our high school students. And as I said, I'll talk more about openings we do have, including in our high school program, as well as paid minimum wage for young people in our apprenticeship tracks. To date, we've shared their work with over 2 million audience members. Again, we feel this is really important. We feel that our young people have the capacity to change the narrative about their city, about their communities, and make change. And so a big component of that is using sort of our resources as an organization to create spaces for them to share their work. And then BCYF has been awesome. They support our entire program pathway. So we have introductory community offerings that are short-term workshops. I don't know if we have any teachers on the call or on Facebook tonight, but we have opportunities to bring short-term media workshops to your classrooms, even virtually, for a 2 or 4 hour kind of like just hands-on opportunity to work with your young people. We have middle school programs. We currently have openings in our middle school Baltimore Speaks Out program that's run in partnership with the Enoch Pratt Free Library. Our offering this year is a virtual storytelling sampler. So again, if you know a middle schooler, that's a program we're still actively enrolling for, and that's an 8-week-long program. So we have a fall trimester, a winter one, as well as a spring one. So if you feel like it's too far along, or you know a young person who might be interested but maybe is doing something else right now, there will be other opportunities. It's open to youth throughout the city because it's all virtual and will be virtual through June. We're fine to bring young people from all over the city together in one virtual space. And I'll say also, as a parent who has been navigating virtual school, which is its own set of challenges during COVID, the middle school program specifically is designed so that parents can be hands off. So I like to think of it as, maybe you're a parent like me who would love a couple hours of quiet time to catch up on work or clean up or just have some quiet time. And our teachers have structured the program in such a way that a middle schooler can really navigate it independently. So it doesn't require a lot of additional parent support, which I think is a huge plus right now. We also offer high school programs. We have an introductory documentary class right now, a virtual event planning class for our high school students, and an introductory and advanced graphic design classes. We will have, those are fall classes, and we will have additional classes in the spring. So I believe we have a couple of openings in those classes as well. If you're a parent or an educator who's interested in getting a young person involved, feel free to reach out to me. I will be sharing my contact information at the end. Let's see. Oh, and sorry to back up. I will also put in the chat box after I'm done presenting a link directly to our enrollment forms on our website. All of our enrollment is digital with COVID-19. So I just wanted to give a little bit more information about, oops, hold on just a minute. My Zoom is messing with me. All right. With our approach to the work. So we really think about the impact of what we are able to try and do in our classrooms and as an organization in sort of different buckets. So we think a lot about individual growth of our young people, again, getting their hands on cameras, getting them to learn how to use Adobe editing software for video or photography, but also providing them with the skills to use what they have accessible, especially right now. So editing on their cell phones and using whatever they have, whether it's a pen and paper to make a graphic novel, which we did this spring with our middle schoolers, or it's really advanced and we're able to hand out a laptop to a young person to use. We want to make sure that they're gaining technical skills right now, and they're also still practicing soft skills. So public speaking, collaboration, teamwork, these things that are going to serve them well in their next steps, whatever they are, whether they want to go into the media industry and that's their career path, whether they want to do something totally different. We do a lot of mentoring and youth development. We think about our young people in a holistic way. So we want to support them in our classrooms, but also connect them to additional resources when needed, so that to try and remove some of the barriers to their success. And then we also do focus, especially with our high school and older youth, on career and college preparation. We think about also our community impact. So how are we developing strategic partnerships? How are we investing long-term in our young people and in their communities through serving the same community over multiple years to build relationships and sort of broaden that impact? And also thinking about our resources. So we are, at this point, an established organization. And so how can we use the power that we may have to address things, whether they're something that we see in a community space or it's something that we see within like the nonprofit space more broadly? How can we think about systemic change, and how can we think about what is our role in trying to move the needle forward? And then we get to systems change. So thinking about audience viewership at local and global levels, providing opportunities for our young people to be civically engaged. And again, that goal of shifting the narratives around key and specific social issues that our young people identify as things that they want to be addressing. So specific to COVID-19, this has been a crazy year. And so we, like everyone, have had to make a lot of changes and adapt and think outside the box. And I like to think that this moment is in some ways making all of us stronger and making us think really differently and challenging us in ways that will benefit us longer term. So wide angles COVID-19 response. The first thing right at the start, we have a small emergency fund. As I said, we like to try and provide holistic supports to our young people. And so we had a small emergency fund already for when a young person might have a need to purchase books or be experiencing food insecurity. And so we expanded that fund so that our young people could anonymously apply, or without their peers knowing, apply for support around technical assistance, educational needs. So that could be, again, like hooking them up with a computer or Wi-Fi hotspot, food needs. We had some students who really needed more support in that area, and housing. And so that kind of fell all underneath our emergency fund. And then we also tried to really increase the social emotional focus of what we were able to provide. So we brought on an additional staff person, and we've really increased for middle school and high school students opportunities for that individual contact with a staff person checking in with them to make sure that, especially right now, and especially because we can't be meeting with them in person, they're still getting those needs met. Our programming continued, so we had a real focus on sustaining our paid apprenticeship opportunities for our young people. As I said, we've transitioned all of our programs, middle school, high school, community workshops, and our apprenticeship to be 100% virtual. We've also developed opportunities for youth-led events. This has been really, really fun and a huge area of growth for us. And I'll talk more about some specifics, but we've had a virtual prom, a virtual graduation, a closing ceremony for our high school summer program. And now our students are actually planning, there's a whole class that's planning our virtual 20th birthday party. We've been able to extend opportunities to guest and community artists so that we have creatives from across the country visiting our classrooms and speaking with our young people, because geography isn't the same barrier that it normally is. And then we've also developed new partnerships and found new platforms to share youth voice. And then we also, as I mentioned earlier, around that idea of pushing the needle and thinking about the audience that we already have, we've really scaled up our communications and tried to do a lot of work to advocate on behalf of our youth based on what they're telling us their needs are right now. So around employment, around workforce, around the ways that they are experiencing COVID-19. And so I'll keep moving. So here are some examples of some of our COVID highlights. So this crazy picture with all these people on it, this is sort of a snapshot of our prom experience. So we had a live DJ and students had dance-offs, and it was just a huge, exciting moment and way to bring a whole bunch of people together, to build community, to celebrate, to give people hope. Now, way back at the start of COVID-19, so that was in May, I think. And it was just a really fun, exciting experience. It was picked up by CNN, which was amazing. And so they did a story and talked to our students about their planning and their ideas for the event. And then on the other side, we have just a snapshot. One thing we've started doing is providing additional opportunities for our young people to kind of craft and own the narrative about how they want to share out about who they are on our social media. And so this is Amina, who was with us this summer, and she did a day-long social media takeover and was paid for that time. So we also developed new partnerships. So this Be More COVID Free campaign was designed by our design team students, so our high school advanced design students, and they worked with Baltimore City Mayor's office to create a very specific campaign directed at their peers, so young people in Baltimore, about how to properly stay healthy and stay COVID-free during the pandemic. And then some other highlights, we have just an image of a guest artist doing a presentation on Zoom to our apprentices. And then the other image that I have here is actually the icon that our students, or the logo that our students who are planning our 20th birthday developed. So as you can see, they've got a reference to Black Lives Matter. The theme of the event itself is sort of Oscars inspired, but their own twist on the Oscars, and the call for the Oscars and the Academy and Hollywood to be more diverse. So they've got, skin tones representing diversity, and they've been planning this and just kind of flipping the script on what we need within the media industry. So this is the invitation for the 20th birthday. It's free. We are trying to get as many people as possible to come. It will be online, but it is not just a Zoom call. They have a virtual gallery that they have created for people to walk through. There will be a premiere of a new video that they've made. There will be opportunities to live chat with other guests. And they've just been putting so much work behind it that we're really just trying to get the word out there, because it's a wonderful way to celebrate our young people. And so also they're running this whole voting in the spirit of the election, voting on favorite projects, which is open to community members. So I encourage you to stop by our website, learn about the event, check out our enrollment opportunities and our programs. This is my email, maura@wideanglemedia.org. You can see our social media handles, and then this is our website at the bottom. And as I said, in the chat box, I'll put our enrollment form, so that anyone who's interested, educators, parents, caregivers, we are, again, currently recruiting for middle school. We will have high school. I think we may have a couple of high school openings, but we will definitely have new high school offerings for the spring semester. And we would love also to be working with schools right now for short-term media workshops that can be conducted virtually. So I'm going to stop the screen share and turn it back over to Adam.
Awesome. Thank you, Maura. Thank you for the presentation. Dope program. Just want to encourage people that are watching, if you have any questions, I just want to remind y'all, use the Q&A box or the chat box. We'll make sure we get those answered, especially on Facebook too. If you have any questions, feel free to post them. We have one question from Chuck Atkins, who says, has Wide Angle found that trauma-informed resources are important in your programming?
Yes. So we have our we have our staff go through professional development trainings each year, and looking at trauma-informed care and integrating things like restorative practices into our classrooms, we find to be really important. So I'll say that we see that as something needed for our staff because of what our students are experiencing, but we also recognize that our staff can experience, and this is a bit of a tangent perhaps, but our staff themselves can also experience vicarious trauma. And so we try to think, again, holistically about our staff, because if we can better equip them and support them, then they're going to be able to support our young people more effectively as well. Does that answer your question? you want more details?
Fantastic.
Okay.
I said, Chuck said thank you on Facebook. Last question, and I'm gonna ask this everyone after they finish their presentations, but for people who may have missed it in the beginning, when you said the contact information and enrollment, so just making sure people understand age range for the young people.
Yes, sorry.
And if they want to make sure that they want to get their young person enrolled today, what's the best way to go about it?
So we serve youth ages 10 to 24. So our middle school program is that sort of 10 to 14 age range. And then high school is like, 14, 15 up through 20. So they just have to be enrolled in high school. And then we also have apprenticeships for youth ages 18 to 24. So right now we do not have any apprenticeship openings. That's an annual recruitment that takes place earlier in the year. And it's a year-long placement with our workforce training program. The middle school program is open and is recruiting for the fall semester, which I believe is in its 3rd out of 8 weeks right now. And then we will have 2 more offerings. So we will have one that starts in January, at the end of January, and then another one that starts in March. So those are 8-week sessions. They meet twice a week. And it's a storytelling sampler. It's very dynamic. It's really fun. It's great for the middle school age group. And then our high school programs, we have our fall offerings, which again are intro to documentary, intro and advanced graphic design, and then virtual event planning. And there may be a couple of openings in high school. So if you are interested, you can reach out on that enrollment form that I will put in the chat box. And then a staff member will follow up with you and confirm whether or not there's an opening. But we definitely have openings for our spring semester of high school, which will start in January. And then finally, we have community offerings, which are open for ages 10 to 18, so middle and high school. And that is where we partner with a school and we offer a virtual class or workshop that maybe complements or enriches what you're already teaching in your classroom as an educator.
Fabulous. And there was actually a question that came in the Q&A section from Mr. Walcott. He asks, is wide angle on PBS? I guess have y'all published any work on PBS?
No, no, I don't think so. But we have published a photo book. We've published things that we've put in circulation, and we've been picked up. Like we were on the Inspire Network a few years ago, one of our documentaries. And we also do our apprentices work a lot with corporate and nonprofit clients in Baltimore City and actually across the state. And so it's possible that one of their projects was on PBS, but nothing's coming to mind, but I don't want to say an absolute hard no.
Got it. Thank you, Maura. If you don't mind, if you could stay on, because we want to make sure that we can get some more questions about how y'all conduct your programming. Sure. and give people more insight into how Wide Angle runs the program. But thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yep. So we're going to move along to Banner Neighborhoods. I think Velmar Coleman, I think we have you up next. You on?
Yes, I am on. Oh, there we go. Just making sure my video is working. Thank you so much for having me, as well as my staff, my coaches. They are here as well. I'll give them an opportunity to introduce themselves in a moment. Again, my name is Velmar Coleman. I am the program director at Banner Neighborhoods Association. What we offer is sports, and we offer life enrichment programs to the community. We understand that sports brings people together, as well as give people opportunities, as well as outlets. And so some of the programs that we offer, I'll get into that in a moment once the coaches finish introducing themselves. We offer 2 programs. One is youth development as well as sports programs. The youth development chairperson and director isn't here, but I can talk a little bit about it and give as much information as possible. I grew up in Baltimore City. I went to high school in Baltimore City, Towson University. I most recently taught in Baltimore City Public Schools. And this is actually my first year at Banner Neighborhoods in a nonprofit world and organization. And I'm loving my job, dealing with the youth and helping the youth as much as possible. I want to, again, thank you, BCYF, for giving us this opportunity to speak on this platform, as well as the work that you do with our organization. So I personally want to thank you and I appreciate you. I'm going to turn it over to our coaches and then I'll come back and talk a little bit about our program and what we offer.
Hi, my name is Coach Ariel Brown. I am the program coordinator for engaging youth in sports at Banner Neighborhoods. I am a former participant in Banner's programming turned now employee. I used to play in their football program when they offered it a while ago. I've worked with them for the past years through their youth youth works and things like that. And now I have the opportunity to work full-time as staff working with the youth programs and sports.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Coach Nikita Sutton. I am up to a sports coach here with Banner Neighborhoods. Just like Coach Velma and Coach Ariel, I was born and raised here in Baltimore City. I did all of my schooling here, also undergrad as well. Thank you so much for having us on this platform to be able to showcase our program to you guys. We hope you enjoy our presentation.
Thank you, coaches. Thank you for introducing yourself. So really quickly, just talking a little bit about our program. We understand that, sports is very important for every child. It teaches discipline, teamwork, fair play while developing active mind as well as body. And our job is to, give as much knowledge, wisdom as possible to the youth. Some of the programs that we offer is a summer program. We have a camp each and every year, which went really well this summer. We just recently finished up with our fall program, and which was yesterday. Literally, we finished yesterday. Some of the things that we offer is, basketball, football, soccer, tennis, and a variety of other sports. Each week we provide sports kits to the kids. It's being delivered to their homes because of, the COVID-19. We are 100% virtual at the moment. And we look forward to, at some point, getting back active and being able to physically have some sports programs. And again, our league welcomes players, who are novice or experienced. We want to welcome kids that want to try new things and aren't likely to sign up through formal sports programs. If I could share my screen, is there any way I can share my screen, you guys?
Yep, you just hit the share button at the bottom and you just select the window. It should come right up.
I just wanted to make sure I was able to. All right, gotcha. It says it's disabled at the moment, so I'm not able to actually share it. It says host disabled, participant screen sharing.
We should really get you situated real quick. I think Ms. Donna has just enabled to share your screen, but we'll just give you a second.
All right, I can continue talking about the program. So basically, we are a Monday through Thursday program. Again, we just finished up. The age group is 9 through 14 years old. So we cover most of the youth. We are currently on a short break, and we'll be having another upcoming program, which will be starting November, in the beginning of November. And Coach Ariel can actually talk a little bit more about that. I wanted to share the screen, but she can just give you the information as to the outlook on this program.
Try see. Does it allow you to share your screen now?
Let's see. Nope. Still says host disabled, participant screen sharing.
Oh, sorry about that.
It's okay. All right, Coach Ariel, you wanted to talk a little bit about our step competition that's coming up?
Omar, I'm sorry. You should be able to share your screen now.
Okay. All right, thank you. So this is our step competition, a little bit a timeline of what's going on, just key dates and what we're going to be offering. And Coach Ariel can talk a little bit about that.
So our step competition will begin Monday, November 23rd. But as of right now, recruitment and registration is open. As a step competition, when we say step, we don't mean like step as in fraternity or sorority type. It's just to get the kids active and moving around as possible. So we will offer a pedometer. The pedometer can go around their wrist. It's just to track how much they move throughout the day. If they go outside and take a walk, or if they have gym class or anything, just to get them moving. Each week they will check in with either if their whole school is involved or organization is involved, or if they're involved separately, they will check in with one of our coaches, their leader assigned from their school or organization, and they will check in with them each week. Each last year we were able to get over 3 million steps in with only a few kids. The program only ran for about 3 weeks. So right now we're trying to get as many kids as possible to continue to get them moving and going, because staying inside or social distancing is not really much you can do. Each week they'll check in with their team leader. They will be offered a gift card or a prize for the week, depending on how they're ranking against other kids and youth that are participating. At the end of the competition, there will be prizes. Last year, the prizes were, the first place prize was offered a laptop, a brand new laptop. The second and third prizes were tablets. The fourth prize was a bike. And also each student that is registered, they get a participation gift card or whatever the prize will be this time. Everyone who participates gets something. The school or organization gets a stipend as a whole. We will write a stipend off to them for their participation. The program is really just to get the kids moving. It's fun, it's enjoyable, it can be for the whole family. We had excuse me, whole families get involved and really enjoy getting to move. The timeline is on here. So right before Christmas, the competition will end, and then after Christmas, we will offer announce the winner. But yeah, it's really just to get the kids move, get a different perspective other than the other things that we offer. The kids enjoy it, parents enjoy it. You can listen to music and step and dance, watch the game, go throw the ball out a little bit outside. Just anything to keep you moving and active during this time.
All right, thank you so much, Coach Ariel. So just real quick, this was our fall program flyer. My contact information is here if anyone wanted to contact me. And I know we'll stick around for a Q&A session. I can also put my contact information in the chat. But not only do we offer sports programs, we also offer social emotional learning, as well as just information about sports. Because we know that sports creates opportunity, as I said before. And it also, we cover, the benefits of playing sports, opportunities that, kids can receive from playing sports. And it's just basically an outlet for kids to engage and be active, especially now that, a lot of things are not open, and we're in such a unconventional state right now with the COVID-19. So as I mentioned, we provide sports kits where the kids can play right, in their homes. Most of the sports kits are for being utilized at home as well as outside. We do encourage the kids to, actively go outside. However, we still do practice social distancing when utilizing the sports kits. So that's something that, we take pride in, especially during these sensitive times right now. I'm going to talk a little bit about our youth development program. As I mentioned, the director is currently unavailable, but I can, share a little bit of information with you guys about that program. So basically, the youth work, we offer a youth work summer program for ages 14 through 21. It provides a salary, field trips, daily instruction, and hands-on work experience within the own communities of the youth. We also have a Jumpstart after school success program for ages 15 through 18, which teaches life career planning, interviewing, resume writing, financial literacy, as well as communication. And again, I can put Amanda's Roman contact information in the chat box once we get there. Here's some upcoming events for the youth development program. We have a career pathways program on October 27th. We also have another program on the 29th, November the 3rd, November the 5th. And we offer other programs. If you guys are interested, of course, you can get in contact with Amanda. But that's pretty much what we offer for the sports program. We do offer a spring program as well as summer. Right now, we are headed to the winter program. And I look forward, and hopefully you guys are able to sign up and register through us. Right now, most of the time, we are not really doing in-person registration. So we have a DocuSign document where we would email you the document and you could sign it literally through the internet and return that information back to me. That's pretty much the best way, as I mentioned, because of the times that we're in with COVID-19. But if you guys have any questions, of course, me and my staff will be around to answer any questions that you guys may have.
Awesome. Thank you, Velma, for the presentation. Couple things. I know you've already discussed it, but in case people are just tuning in, our Baltimore Children Youth Fund program showcase, and we're talking about banner neighborhoods. And I just wanted to make sure that the audience knows on both Facebook here on Zoom, because you talked about sports is kind of at the center of what y'all do, or an outdoor recreation, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
So I know a lot of parents are just concerned about, COVID. And you've already touched on this, but I just want to make sure that people are very clear about the protocols that y'all have in place and what y'all are considering since y'all focus on recreation and outdoor activity.
Absolutely. So any other time we would be, having outdoor activities as well as in-school activities. But because of the COVID-19, we are strictly 100% virtual right now. So all of our sports activities, sports programs would be virtually after school, of course. And like I said, we offer sports kits for the kids to utilize right at home, as well as if, they have an opportunity to go outside on the front, or if they can get to a park, but still practicing social distancing, of course. That's pretty much what we offer at the moment, unfortunately. And we look forward to, at some point going back to being able to physically be outside and being back in the school involved with, the students as well as the schools that we service, our partners.
I wanted to go ahead and chime in on that as well. So like Coach Velma spoke about earlier, so this was our first time doing outside of our summer program recently. The fall program has been 100% virtual, and we've had an enormous amount of participant engagement. And we try our best at Banner Neighborhoods, kind of considering the situation that we're in right now with COVID. We try our best to be really, really innovative to keep the kids active, because we do understand that they are like in front of the computer screen for, most parts of the day. So we try to get them up and moving while they're on the screen. So we like to ensure the parents that we're going to keep the kids highly engaged, and that they're going to be active despite the fact that we're virtual.
Excellent. Appreciate that. Our last thing is just so for a parent who has a child, or someone who has a child in their life wants to get them enrolled in your program, just please repeat the age range for the young people that can be enrolled, and the process for them getting enrolled.
Absolutely. So one other small note that I would like to add is that we service the East Baltimore population. So we have a jurisdiction which runs, I can put that in the chat as well once we do the Q&A. But yeah, so basically, if you guys wanted to register, I'll put my information. You can contact me, either one of the coaches, and we can get the registration forms to you guys via email. We do offer registration forms at some of our food banks that we help service. And we'll have a coach there, with sports equipment, just, giveaways, as well as registration forms where you could sign a kid up right then and there. Of course, obviously, still practicing social distancing. So we're only taking one parent at a time. So that's pretty much how you guys can contact us. Also, we have a website, bannerneighborhoods.org, where you can go in there. You can, read a little bit more about our programs, our entire organization, contact information, timelines, dates, key dates. So that's pretty much how you guys would register. And thank you so much, Coach, for putting it in the chat, as well as our contact information.
Great. Thank you, Velma. I appreciate you, brother, for the presentation. If you don't mind, if you can stay on till the to the end of the last presentation, we just want to make sure that folks know a little bit more about Banner Neighborhoods and how y'all get the work done. But thank you again.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us.
Yes, sir. If you're just tuning into this live and you're curious about what's going on, this is the Baltimore Children Youth Fund Community Program Showcase. I am Adam Jackson from the Community Engagement team here at the Baltimore Children Youth Fund. And we've just heard from Banner Neighborhoods and Wide Angle Youth Media. If you have questions about the presentation you just heard or the one before with Wide Angle Youth Media, we're still live right now. So feel free to put it in the chat box or Facebook Live if you have any questions, and we'll make sure to get to that question before the end of the broadcast. If you are watching this after the broadcast, if you are watching this saved on Facebook or any other platform and you have a question, feel free to email the Youth Fund at info@bcyfund.org. All right, so we're gonna hop into the last presentation of the evening with the No Boundaries Coalition, and I believe we have Mr. Logan on. Brother Logan, you on the call?
It's actually Sasha presenting for No Boundaries.
Ah, got it. I saw his name in the thingy, in the little chat box thing. But all right, cool. I'll hand it right to you.
I didn't even realize we share an account, so we're constantly changing the name.
It's all good. Hey, we all boxing with Zoom. It's all good.
I hear you. If you could, I'm on 2 different accounts. If you could make it perfect to start my video from both of them. I'm going to be sharing my screen from the Sasha Jones one, and I would like to share video from the one that says Ian Logan. Okay, sweet. I should have done a grease check on my phone before I put my video on. Okay, good evening, everybody. Thank y'all for having us. As you heard, I'm on 2 different screens, so excuse me if it looks a little funky. But I wanted to share about the No Boundaries Youth programs. And then I think our presentation may be pretty short. I'm just going to queue up the slides. I'll actually start talking about our No Boundaries youth organizers. And so No Boundaries is a resident-led advocacy organization, and we work in Central West Baltimore. I'm just gonna pull it up for y'all. Here we go. Great. And our main kind of claim to fame and focus area has been around the work that we've done with the consent decree. That's like our most front-facing work. However, the meat and potatoes of No Boundaries is our programmatic work in the now around like leadership development. And so our mission is to build a more unified and empowered Central West Baltimore and across the boundaries of race, class, and neighborhood. And how that really shows up as we've seen kind of in our work is the individual access to resources, opportunities, and and just kind of righteous indignation that some folks are kind of born with and others have to learn over time. And so a lot of our work is built or kind of centered around people development and giving folks the tools or the language, the credentials to really go out and do the things that they want to do. And so 2 ways that we do that with young people at No Boundaries is our 2 youth programs, the No Boundaries Youth Organizers, and our workforce development program that focuses on food careers. And so with our No Boundaries Youth Organizers, that has been around for 5 years. And I hoped that I had the brochure to send you, but all of this information is available on our website, noboundariescoalition.com. Where you can read up about our different programs. And our youth program, No Boundaries Youth Organizers, works with young people aged 13 to 19. And then there is a kind of a neo-graduate program, if you will, that works with the youth ages 19 to 24. That have kind of graduated from the NEO program and who come back to serve in leadership roles and as mentors for some of the younger folks who are in the program. And so the youth organizers, they learn the tools for organizing, just basically identifying a problem, identifying or naming a problem, identifying who can support in solving it, and then going about the action steps to do that. They also learn soft skills and have several opportunities to connect with other young people who are working on similar issues across the city. And so it's really a leadership development program for our young people to gain the tools that they need to go forth and be able to advocate for themselves. And some of them go on to advocacy type jobs, whether it be at the nonprofit level, community level, or politically engaged. Some of them want to be lawyers, and others are just in it for the skill sets that they develop around public speaking and writing, relationship building, these types of things that kind of transfer across no matter where you end up. And so that program is currently enrolling. They have about 5 slots left. And it is, all of our youth programs are hybrid, in person and virtual. And so you have the option on how you choose to participate. And so they meet regularly in person from 4 to 6 p.m. or you can tune in via Zoom. And I have the contact information for that program is actually Mr. Logan, Ian Logan, at noboundariescoalition.com if you're interested. You also can connect with the No Boundaries Youth Organizers via Instagram. That page is managed 100% by the youth who are in the NEO program. And so if you are, if you're not an email person, definitely check in the Instagram at NEO. And I have it at the end of our presentation. That's NBYO, No Boundaries Youth Organizers. The second of our youth programs is newer, and it is our Youth Food Careers Workforce Development Program, which is what this presentation centers around. I always have a hard time navigating. Okay, here we go. And so this program is housed under our Health and Food Justice initiative, and it's in general, the Health and Food Justice Initiative its purpose is to increase the access of residents in Central West Baltimore to nutritious living. And how we do that is we operate a produce market within the Avenue Market that has been impacted by the pandemic and will be reopening in November, and that's part of what our interns support with. But we also do produce pop-ups, which feature here in this photo of this little baby at Furman L. Templeton purchasing broccoli for herself. we also host classes, we do cooking demos, food demos. And so what our interns learn is basically how to do all of these things. And so they learn safe food prep, safe food handling, store operations, and they do all of this with an emphasis on entrepreneurialism and small business operations. And so they kind of get a behind the scenes, and we coach them through establishing their own food businesses and or finding a pathway into a career that they would be interested in. And so these are just some other pictures. We have two kind of prongs. Fresh at the Avenue, which is our produce market. This is what it looks like on a regular day, pre-pandemic. And then post-pandemic, we started the Central West Baltimore Buying Club, which is all virtual. And that is currently how we are doing our sales at the market. And so folks can go onto our website and select the produce that they want to order, and then we deliver it to their homes. And so pictured as one of our advisory board members who supports with the buying club. And so we have in-person days bi-weekly where we do food distribution. Our work, unfortunately or fortunately, has still been in person given the nature of what we're doing with food. And what to expect from the internship. So it's a 6 months paid internship. The first 2 weeks are unpaid orientation. And then it's split up into 2 3-month intervals. The first half is more focused on learning, and then our interns sit for their food safety manager's credential. And the second half of that is based on application. And so we talk about job placement after the internship. We talk about business creation after the internship. We talk about creating a product that they can use and kind of transition out. And it's a 20 to 25 week commitment. Our work week is between Wednesdays and Saturdays. And then everyone receives hands-on training from experienced professionals on both back of house and front of house job duties. So that means that there's kitchen time. If there are youth who are interested in food careers, particularly on food preparation, head chef, catering, those types of jobs or careers, we have hands-on back of house instruction, as well as some of the more managerial and operations competencies we give instruction as well as hands-on application for. And then we do targeted skills-based training based on the food safety handling. So that's coming directly from the Safe Food Safety Manager credential. And so we work with our interns to get them prepared for the exam that they take. We take weekly tests. We do audits via site visits to area businesses on food safety in practice, so that they're really ready to take that exam, and not only just to get the credential, but be able to actually have the skill set behind the credential to be able to use it in other areas of their lives and their journeys. There's an opportunity to create and package your own product. And then we work one-on-one with our youth to create and implement a personal success plan, which could be related to their internship, or it could be related to just a goal that they have that they want to achieve in their life. And so we work together in our one-on-one check-ins with them to just build out a plan and then to track it. Our interns can expect to be held to standards of excellence, and we kind of talk about what that is, but it's basically, it goes back to those soft skills. What are the transferable skills that everyone needs to know in terms of being a productive citizen? We push them to their maximum potential. We do all of this in a loving and nourishing environment, even during tough conversations, even during tough moments, even when we experience, the can't do mentality. And they can expect to be prepared to enter the labor force as an employee or an owner in the food industry. And above all, food for me is fun. We have a lot of fun, like pictured, this is some of our interns from last year at our annual gala, which will be completely virtual this year, so no one will have an opportunity to have this type of fun. But we really bring our interns into our organization, into our work. We develop relationships with them. We work with them one-on-one, and so we are, we're here to prepare them and to really prepare them not only for a generic food job, but specifically for the job or the business of their choosing. And so I have our contact information here. I'm Sasha. My email is really small, but it's my first name at noboundariescoalition.com. If you want to know more about the workforce development program. Ian Logan is the contact for our No Boundaries Youth organizers, and you can stay connected with us on our social media. I dropped it below. And then to apply, we have a short link, bit.ly/apply WFD, and I can drop that into the chat as well. Thank y'all so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Sasha. Quick question for you. One, thank you for the presentation. I know you broke this down some in the beginning, but for people who may have just tuned in and are curious about getting the young person enrolled, age range, so ages of the young people that could be enrolled in the program, and also the best way to get enrolled. So should they just contact you directly? What's the best way to get their young person enrolled in the program?
Absolutely. And so for the No Boundaries Youth organizers, that's age 13 to 19. And then our workforce development program is for youth aged 18 to 24. And you can contact myself or Ian about either one of those programs. We'll forward to each other if need be. And so reaching us and our emails is the best way. We also have a direct link to the application at bit.ly/apply WFD. And I will drop that in the chat now, actually, that folks can sign up for the workforce development program, and then definitely contacting us through any of our social media platforms that'll get back to us as well.
Fabulous. And it's noboundaries.com, right?
That's correct. Noboundariescoalition.com.
Noboundariescoalition.com. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you all so much.
Yes, ma'am. All right. So we are going to transition. Oh, wait a minute. I think we have a question for you. Any collective economics training or plans in any of the programs that y'all have?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy that you asked that question. That's kind of the spirit behind what we do around bringing our kind of economic power or harnessing the economic power that already exists within Central West Baltimore. And so our model in general is based upon the fact that our communities are not poor of resources, they're not poor of finances. If we can pull them together, if we can organize them. And so that's the spirit behind the buying club, really utilizing our shared buying power to purchase directly from distributors. And so our interns will be running that program, but they also get hands-on classroom instruction. And so before we start any food-based or like hands-on food prep conversation, we talk about food apartheid, we talk about redlining, we talk about the kind of the social issues that are undergirding our food system, and where there's inequity. We talk about the use of cooperatives both in history as well as in present day as a tool to kind of lift us out of this present state. And if it's not going to lift us, at least to mitigate kind of the challenges that we experience living in food apartheid communities. And so as we nurture them through establishing their own food products and concepts, we also are providing the opportunity for them to work together. And so they are kind of inherently building this business network. We have also a workforce development advisory board that we are looking for business owners to participate in. Some of our vendors from our buying club are a part of that group. And we're just building an opportunity for our emerging entrepreneurs to connect with established entrepreneurs, and to think through ways of how can we order, how do we order bulk materials, bulk foods, and kind of maximize our labor. So all of that is part of kind of the how of what we do.
Fabulous. Thank you very much.
Thank y'all so much.
All right. So thank you for that. So we're going to transition right now. If you are watching us on Facebook, if you just joined the conversation, if you just joined the Zoom, we are having a conversation about youth programs that are available to youth and young adults here in Baltimore City as a part of the Baltimore Children and Youth Fund. These are grantees of the Baltimore Children and Youth Fund. So we're talking through their programs and the work that they do here in Baltimore. If you have missed any information, if you're just joining now, this will be up for rebroadcast on our Facebook page and other platforms, and we'll make sure you get access to the information, so don't worry. And also, all the information about our grantees are on our website at bcyfund.org. And if you have any questions that maybe you missed someone's contact information or you wanted more detail and you couldn't remember how to get in contact with them, feel free to reach out to us at info@bcyfund.org. All right, so we're going to transition right now to Mr. Davon Love, who's also a part of our community engagement team. We're going to have a discussion with our grantees and talk about some of their programming and how they get their work done. So I'll just transition it to Davon to get us started in that conversation this evening. Davon?
All right. So first, I just want to thank all the grantees that presented. One of the things that I like to say whenever I'm hearing stories about the work the grantees are doing is that unfortunately there isn't enough attention paid to all the amazing work that's happening by folks in Baltimore who are dedicating their lives to really empowering our young people. And so I just want to first start by just lifting that up. I don't want to keep people too much longer because it's Friday night, but there are two questions that I want to raise to the panelists that I think would really help the larger community really deepen their appreciation for the work that's being done. And so my first question to the panelists, what are the ways in which the skills that the young people in your programs learn transferable outside of the actual programming that you all do? I imagine you have stories about how young people have taken the skills and have applied them in other places. So, any or all of the panelists, could you talk about how the skills that young people learn in your programs, how you've seen them be transferable outside of the program?
I can chime in on that, Davon.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, one of the beautiful things about food and cooking, et cetera, is that it's not only a career, but a life skill. And so, I've had just really great conversations with our interns about them increasing their cooking. Like as we were learning knife skills, as we're learning nutrition facts, as we are making certain dishes and kind of learning along the way, we're coming back over we're together from Wednesday to Saturday, and then when we see each other again the following Wednesday, it's like, oh, this weekend I cooked this, and this. Like this weekend I added this vegetable to my meal, and so it's been really beautiful to me to see like how whether you monetize the skills that we offer or not, like they're coming back to me and say, oh, I went to the grocery store and the temperature on the refrigerator said this, and they know now, you don't want to buy things that look a certain way when you're in the grocery store. And so, I see that being transferable. And then also just around the process conversations that we have, we teach a lot about processes and just being kind of breaking it down to the steps. If this is our end goal, then how do we get there? And, I see our former interns utilizing those skills as they're thinking through what their next steps are, even as they're thinking through, like, I see the thought process begin to shift as we work together. It's just like, instead of kind of turning to me or anyone else that they deem that knows the information, to think through it, it's just like a stop and a thinking. And so that those type of critical thinking skills around like processes and just how to get from start to finish around what we want, I can't imagine, or I can't ask for a better kind of transferable skill that takes you wherever.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Any other of the panelists want to speak to that?
Yeah, I guess I'll go really quickly. So for our program, in sports, we are virtual, obviously, of course. So we have an agenda each and every day. And on the agenda, it's a bunch of information, that the kids are learning throughout the week. So some of the things I've noticed, that, they've actually been able to take back with them into like real life situations, as far as being able to virtually communicate in school during the daytime. A lot of the information we cover is information that they would not have learned anywhere else, because a lot of the kids that we service have never played sports. So when it comes to like health, benefits of exercising, the benefits of being able to communicate effectively, critical thinking skills, all of these are skills that that they hone and they are going to have to utilize in real life at some point. And I've definitely seen change. We've had kids that are kind of shy initially from the first day until the last week of virtual learning. They're raising their hand and they want to talk first, as far as what type of space they're in. And I also give them the opportunity to lead a little bit. So we do like warm up activities, and each day we allow a different kid to kind of lead that activity. So leadership skills is something that I also noticed that they're able to gravitate from this virtual program. And I was amazed, man. I actually grew attached to these kids in the 5 weeks, just being able to see them grow from the beginning stages to the end. Is very, very gratifying, to say the least, for me to see.
Yeah, appreciate that.
And I can pipe in as well. I mean, yeah, I just want to echo what you guys have both said. I think that cooking, sports, media creation, I mean, there are so many skills that I think of my childhood that I learned through these various avenues. So I think at Wide Angle, not every student we work with becomes a video producer. That might, be something they're excited about at one point, but they go on to be educators, nurses, engineers, all kinds of things. But we see them use their skills, especially around like entrepreneurialism. And a lot of our young people have surprised me during COVID. They've used this time to pivot and start like, a jewelry business. Or I've seen our students who are going to college and they need to make, some side money. And so they have started their own nail painting business, and they're amazing. And they're using their media skills by promoting their Instagram business, and highlighting what they put out there. We do have a couple of students who have gone on to actually start their own sort of production companies and work with local musicians in the Baltimore area. Or do a lot, again, of like freelancing through photography, through video production, because it's a way that they can help, make money and support and sustain themselves and their families right now. But I think, yeah, those bigger things too, just like self-confidence and seeing that shift and change over time in young people, seeing them practice their public speaking and get those opportunities to share what's on their mind and what's important to them and have people listen. And I think that's really empowering and exciting.
Thank you. So I mean, for me, a part of really wanting to ask that question is to really make sure that our viewing audience, has some deeper insights as to the benefits of the program beyond just the actual activities, but seeing that these activities can be building blocks for other opportunities beyond the actual program itself. So I'm going to ask one more question, and that is, can you all tell a story, the most amazing story that you can think of that demonstrates the impact that your program has had on students? I'm gonna give you a few minutes to think about that. So while you're thinking about that, one of the other things I just want to add again for the viewing audience is that one of the things that is really phenomenal about the Baltimore City Children Youth Fund is there's such a broad diversity of programs that are available for young people. So, this evening, you heard about, a program that helps young people think about food and cooking and collective buying and ownership, a program that deals with health and sports, something that's greatly needed at a time where, rates of obesity, have risen. a program that helps young people to use video production skills and media. So it's just a very broad diversity of skills that are available to young people. And a part of the purpose of the question this last question that I asked the panelists is because if many of us sit and think about our childhood, we think about the programs that we were a part of, it was a lot of those extracurricular programs that were really the foundation for helping us discover, our passions in life. And so, I think that, talking about some of these stories will really help people to really get an appreciation for the power that are in these programs. So now, having a few moments to think about it, let's go in reverse order. And if we can start with Maura, and then we'll go down the line.
Okay. So yeah, the first one that came to mind is just one of our current staff members. And so he joined Wide Angle. His older brother, I think, recruited him. His older brother was in our high school programs. And so my now colleague, Tahir, joined our program as a high schooler. And he joined in our graphic design team. And he was so young at the time. Now that I have watched him and seen him grow over time, he just looked so much younger. But he worked on the graphic design campaigns they had. He really appreciated and enjoyed his experience. And at that time, we were able to offer, and still are, we offer a modest stipend for our high school students to attend classes. So they get an end of semester stipend. And for him, he had other responsibilities and other things he needed to address. And I don't mind sharing this because he later made a video about this and about his experiences. But so he chose to leave. He wanted to be an engineer. He left our programs. He, stayed in school, in high school, and started working at McDonald's and worked sort of this dead end, hourly job that was able to pay him more, but was not about pursuing his passion, was not teaching him the skills that he wanted. And he left for about a year. And he decided to come back because he realized that he needed to invest in himself to get himself where he wanted to be. And so he came back, he joined our high school video program at the time, and he has just flourished. He has taken, I think those foundational skills that we've talked about a couple times now, and he is incredibly hardworking. He is a problem solver. He thinks creatively. He thinks outside the box. He takes initiative. He does all those things, those soft skills that we've talked about, all of us around, that can help one be successful. And he went to Morgan. He decided to do a dual career in engineering and video production, and ended up just moving into video production. And so he stayed with us. He joined our apprenticeship program. He's been placed at places like Exelon and other area communications firms, and consistently people are blown away by just how skilled and how talented he is. And this fall, we were able to bring him on full-time as a state registered apprentice. So he's working full-time with us for a year. And it's just, it brings me joy to think about and to have been part of his trajectory. And I was never his direct teacher, but getting to work alongside him and getting to be part of that growth has been really inspirational. And I think, he's just someone that really embodies a lot of the things that we've talked about.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Next panelist, you got a story?
All right. So I've recently just started this summer. So I don't have a lot of stories. I can, speak on the programs that I've, been a part of so far. In the one program in the summertime, we had a kid who had a disability. So he wasn't able to do a lot of things that the other kids, could do physically. However, by the end of the session, just, being on the call daily, building his confidence up as far as communication, being engaged, learning new things. We had a competition in the last week, and it was for a prize. Obviously, he, wanted to win the prize. So he, did what he had to do, stepped out his comfort zone a little bit. And his disability is physical. So he's not, again, able to do some of the things that the kids can do. However, he was able to create a video of him actually being out on a football field, playing with the equipment that we had. I believe it was soccer. It was soccer week that we were covering. And he made like a 3-minute long video of the drills that we showed him, some of the techniques that he learned throughout the camp. And it was really inspiring. And a lot of the kids, you know, they pretty much said, yeah, you won, man. You won, because they understood his disability and, you know, what he lacked. But that didn't stop him. And I was very proud of, you know, that moment, just to see him grow from the beginning stages of our program to the end. So that was something that I can definitely say that, you know, was inspiring, not only for me, but the rest of the kids. You know, when they see things like that, it just, you know, gives them a boost, I feel like, as well.
Yeah, that's powerful. That's very powerful. Sasha?
So I'm going to tell a story from our No Boundaries Youth Organizers. And it's a twofold story about two of our different young people, two young ladies. And so we have one, Shania, and we have another one, Jada, and they both kind of entered the program at the same time. And one of them has kind of matriculated through the program and is in college now, and has been able to be hired to come back as that leadership position that I was saying around at the leadership level, actually helping to steward the young folks that are coming through the program. And then another of them has been in the program and is a phenomenal young woman, but has had challenges and hasn't been able to kind of move past them as quickly as she may have wanted to, or as we may have wanted to. And what I find value about kind of both of their stories is that there's space for each of them to exist within our organization, and to be held and to be nurtured at the level and kind of place where they are in their own growth and development, and finding ways to utilize their assets and skills while also consistently pushing them to be their best selves. And I think that's the spirit of kind of who we are and how we work at No Boundaries, is to really meet people where they are, and to give them the training and skills and the coaching and the encouragement that they need to consistently move forward and to be, you know, who they see themselves as and who we see them as. And so I really appreciate both of these young women, because like I said, there's value in their space in both of them, and they each have become stronger leaders as I have watched them kind of grow. They both started when they were in the 9th grade with us, and they have been able to kind of move at the pace of their development and still be able to participate. And you know, as a person who experienced and kind of participated in a lot of youth programs, I really value that as someone who's able to look back on what I would have needed as a young person, and that there's a whole organization full of adults and that work there, as well as volunteers that are willing to work one-on-one with our young people and really be the support, whether it's the tough kind of support or the love, the winky support, that our young people need.
So thank you for that. I want to thank the panelists for just providing the community with the information about what you do, providing the community and the viewers with this inspiration. I think unfortunately we don't see enough images of our community doing the kind of work that we've talked about here, and so I'm greatly appreciative of just being able to hear the stories and the work that you all have shared with us tonight. So with that, I'll kick it back to Adam to close us out.
Yes, I mean, this was dope. I mean, I appreciate all of y'all for, again, just to echo Davon's sentiments, for sharing tonight. Very inspirational. It's a Friday night at 7:30. Y'all could have been anywhere else, but you chose to spend that time with us and to hopefully get information to the folks in our community who need it, to make sure they can sign up for these fantastic youth programs. So thank you again for all of your hard work and the time that you spent with us here tonight.
Thank you all. Have a
Thank
good
you.
night, everybody.
Absolutely. For people who are watching on Zoom and Facebook, thank you for joining us. If you saw any information here tonight that you thought was important to share with people that you know, relevant information about these programs, we highly encourage you to share this video or to share the BCY Fund, the BCYFund.org website with anybody in your network. If you're watching on Facebook, share this video on your Facebook profile. And we'll be doing more of these. There are tons and tons of programs who are grantees of the Children Youth Fund and just youth programs in Baltimore in general. So we hope that you'll come back and join us again when we do another showcase. But in the meantime, have a dope Friday night. Have a dope weekend. Stay safe. Peace.